So, I recently finished a solo run of Pokemon Sword over on Twitch. The Pokemon that I chose for this run was obviously Torchic, because Torchic is best Pokemon. And when I say Torchic, I mean just Torchic. Because I know what you're thinking, Combuskin, Blaziken, that's a fairly easy run, but no, just Torchic, because Torchic is best Pokemon. And for those of you who might not be familiar with what a solo run is, it's essentially playing through an entire Pokemon game from start to finish using only one single Pokemon. Torchic. Now, going into this run, I wasn't completely sure if I was actually going to make a video, so I ended up losing most of the footage. But I decided that I did want to make this as a sort of landmark video of the first of hopefully many solo runs that I am going to do on this channel, to kind of open the door for future videos. So how this video is going to work is I'm going to give you the lowdown on how everything went, inserting footage where I have it, and doing some sort of visual representation where I don't. Even I'm excited to see what kind of monstrosity I come up with. Also, I'm going to upload the full footage for all of the battles that I do have as unlisted videos, and they'll be linked down in the description for anyone who's interested. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into it. So, me and my little Torchic, Chicky, actually kind of tore through the gym challenge. I was really proud and surprised of how well it actually went. Our first milestone was the gym leader Milo. Now, Milo's not really that tough as it is, and I was using a fire type as well, so, I mean, there's not really much to say about Milo, except for... sorry? And then came Nessa. Nessa was the first real roadblock of the run. She is the Water-type gym leader with a really powerful D-Max Dreadnought, and it took me many tries to beat her. But with the use of some X items, Chicky did manage to take down her Dreadnought and earn us the Water badge. Third and fourth were Carbu, the Fire-type gym leader, and B, the Fighting-type gym leader. Neither of these really caused us too much of a problem. Both of their G-Maxes are weak to Flying-type moves, and Chicky had access to Aerial Ace and Bounce, so we managed to take them down pretty easily. Fifth was Opal, the Fairy-type gym leader. Now, I underestimated her Togekiss, which did take Chicky down on our first try with its ancient power. But we did manage to take her down on our second try. I can't remember this battle very well, but I think we just used focus energy and banked on getting a few crits, and it worked out. Gordy and Piers were 6th and 7th, and also didn't pose too much of a problem. Almost all of Gordy's Pokemon are weak to ground, with his G-Max Colossal being 4 times weak, so I just dug my way through his entire team. And Piers, well, I didn't actually have anything that was super effective against his team. I just ended up using Focus Energy and hoping for a few crits, using Feather Dance and chipping away at his team, safe in the knowledge that I didn't have a G-Max to worry about. Then came Raihan. Nessa and Raihan were the two battles that I was most worried about, and I was right to be worried. I used a few different strategies to try and get past him, even using Attract to try and avoid a few hits. A big problem was his Flygon, which kept lowering my attack with its Breaking Swipe. The other problem was that his gym battle is a double battle. You have to have at least 2 usable Pokemon in your party to battle him, so I would go in with Chicky and another level 1 Torchic, which would die almost instantly, and then it was Chicky versus not 1, but 2 dragons at a time. Eventually, with the help of Dracozolt in the chat, we discovered something that I'd been overlooking the entire run. TR00 Swords Dance. For those of you that don't know, Swords Dance is a move that increases your attack by 2 stages when used in battle. I honestly don't know how I'd managed to overlook it for so long, and after a little journey around the wild area, talking to almost all of the vendors, there it was. He has it! He has it! And sure enough, Swords Dance along with Feather Dance, Dig and Slash was the key to defeating Raihan. It was an extremely long battle, probably the longest of the run. I managed to set up pretty well using Swords Dance to increase my attack and counteract Breaking Swipe. And after using a lot of Feather Dances, we still had a few close calls. But, by being cautious and taking our time, Chicky and I earned the 8th and final badge. The Dragon Badge. This needs to kill. This needs my Digny, my Max Quake needs to kill here.
Yes! Yes!
Yes! I've beat Raihan! I've beat Raihan! We have beaten Raihan. The only thing that now stood in the way of me and Chicky being the champions of Gala was the cup tournament. And then the current champion, Leon himself. The cup tournament began, and Marnie was the first challenger that we were pitted against. Chicky managed to set up pretty well on her first few Pokemon with Focus Energy and Swords Dance, even after being subjected to Torment by her Purloin, which meant that Chicky couldn't use the same move twice in a row. But, with my plan to sweep with Dig being foiled, we still actually managed to take down her team without too much trouble, even one-shotting her G-Max Grimmsnarl with a Max Quake. Come on, I just need to either kill in one shot or not die on the second turn on her attack. Yes! Yes! Ah! Beat Marnie first try. The weird hairy goblin, literally. It's gross. Next up was Hop, our rival through this adventure. Someone who me and Chicky had beaten several times in the past. But here he was, standing before us at his strongest. The battle started, and Chicky was able to set up pretty quickly with Focus Energy and Swords Dance. After being paralysed 4 turns in a row by his Dubwall, we gave it the double dig and moved on to Snorlax, which Chicky one-shot with a critical hit dig. The Pokemon I was scared about, he just crits and takes it down in one hit. Hop's Pincurchin found the same fate. The crit streak paused momentarily with Hop's Corviknight, giving Hop the opportunity to heal. But it was too little too late, and Chicky landed a critical hit with Flamethrower on the very next turn, taking down Corviknight. Unfortunately, that was the last crit that Chicky was going to land this battle, and was almost defeated by Hop's D-Max Rillaboom's Max Quake. But Chicky held on, and with a mere 5 HP, delivered one final Max Flare to Hop's Rillaboom, putting an end to the Champion Cup semi-finals. That night we had a dinner date with Leon, which was very rudely interrupted by Alina, and me and Chicky had no choice but to, well, do what we do best. One shot. We knew it was going to happen though. And a crit. The following day, the Challenger Cup finals were interrupted as Bede wandered out onto the pitch and demanded to face me one last time, staking his entire career on this one battle. Which didn't last very long, as me and Chicky were able to set up on his Mawile and then sweep his entire team with 4 crits in a row. It was a crit! Nessa was next, and to put it plainly, Nessa scares me. She lived up to that fear by ending my winning streak on the second turn with a liquidation from her Golisopod. Chicky and I scampered back to the Pokemon Center, and we switched up our moveset with the addition of Aerial Ace after noticing that none of our Pokemon actually resist Flying type. And we headed back into the stadium, ready to take on Nessa again. And for a second I thought we had lost again to her Golisopod, until its ability kicked in. Oh, it has emergency exit. Okay, when it comes in again I can just Aerial Ace again. And after that, we actually managed to take down the rest of her team without too much trouble, apart from a few scary water moves. And with some luck, we made it to her final Pokemon, her G-Max Dreadnought. This Pokemon is terrifying, and is something that had been on my mind since the very beginning of this solo run. So, we had been training for this since day one, Chicky and I. And we took it down with one single Max Quake. Yes! Not first try, that's a lie. Second try Nessa. Yes! The last 2 challengers that we needed to take down to finally face Leon were Bee and finally Raihan. These 2 battles I once again, don't actually have the footage for. And they were so quick that I don't really even remember them that well. Aerial Ace dealt with B's team pretty easily, including her G-Max Machamp. And with Raihan, it wasn't a double battle this time around. So we basically used the same strategy as before, and he went down without too much trouble as well. And then, there was only one thing left to do. Defeat Champion Leon and take the title for ourselves. And in doing so, complete the Torchic solo run. Unfortunately, the match was interrupted by Rose because he woke up a super powerful Pokemon and tried to bring about the darkest day. You know, as you do. But it was fine. We went to the power plant, smacked down Big Bad Eternatus, and that was that. And then we did eventually actually get around to fighting Leon. And to be honest, I thought I had a pretty foolproof strategy, which was as follows. But basically the plan is, so, Aegislash. On his Aegislash, I need to get 3 Swords Dances up, my Focus Energy up, and then take it out with Flame Charge. Flame Charge coupled with those 3 Swords Dances is going to do some nice damage. And then Dragapult. Well, I'm going to use Rock Slide to take out its Dragapult and its Haxorus. It's normal effective. I don't have anything that's super effective, so I'm relying on Rock Slide because I also need Rock Slide for later. Then Mr. Rhyme, I can use either Rock Slide or Flame Charge. No fuss. Inteleon, again, Rock is normal effective, so we're going with Rock Slide. And then Charizard, Rock Slide is 4 times effective. So, easy. That's the plan. Let's hope that it goes to plan. As we walked out onto the stadium, I was feeling confident. I was ready. This was the moment both Chicky and myself had been waiting for. The battle started and Leon led with Aegislash. Chicky was able to take its Shadow Ball without being knocked lower than half health, which meant that we could easily set up all 3 Swords Dances and Focus Energy and just heal when things looked a little hairy. Now, after setting up, the smart play here and what I had originally planned to do was to use Super Potions and heal up until Aegislash used King Shield, which would give Chicky a chance to take it down and move on to Leon's Haxorus on full health. But being this close to the end of the run, we grew impatient. Chicky attacked and took down Aegislash while she was down to almost half health. And when it came to Haxorus, Rock Slide didn't take it down in one hit, giving it the opportunity to nail Chicky with an Earthquake. Chicky and I recuperated and talked over what had just happened. We knew that the only way we could make it past that Haxorus was to go into it on full health and either land a crit or pray that it couldn't one-shot Chicky with Earthquake. Those were our options. So we went back in, with our heads still held high, but with the knowledge that this might not be as easy as we had originally thought. The beginning of the battle went much the same. Chicky set up on Leon's Aegislash, but we were smart this time. After we set up, we healed until Aegislash used King Shield, and then Chicky went in for the kill. And we moved on to Haxorus in a much better position this time. But it didn't even matter. Chicky went ahead and landed a critical hit Rock Slide on Haxorus, bringing it down in a single turn. Inteleon was next, and suffered the exact same fate as the Haxorus that had come before it. Then came Dragapult, the last Pokemon that I was a little bit nervous about. But Chicky, once again, took it down with a single Rock Slide. But no crit this time. From this point, we knew that we had this battle in the bag, but tried not to get ahead of ourselves. Flame Charge took care of Mr. Rhyme. And then came Leon's final Pokemon, his signature G-Max Charizard. I D-Maxed Chicky and... Actually, you know what? I'll just let it play. And it's hit, so there we go. And we have beat Leon. Was it a crit? It was a crit! Yes, it was a crit! Perfect! Absolutely perfect! Will the stars align? Will he somehow make it to level 69? please. Oh, I just missed the mark. Just missed the mark. Oh well, we're not in the perfect universe, but we're in a very, very good one. And that's it. The Torchic solo run is over. The Torchic solo run has been completed. And that was that. The unbeatable champion Leon, beaten by a single Torchic. We watched the credits roll and celebrated our victory. But Chicky wasn't done there. The title of Gala Champion alone wasn't enough. Chicky insisted that we keep on going until the whole of Gala knew our names, until we had proven ourselves against every foe. I turned to Chicky and nodded. First, we ventured to the icy mountains of the Crown Tundra, where Chicky took down her first opponent, Glastreer. Calyrex, hearing of this, tried to redeem his steed's reputation. Calyrex was unsuccessful. And it wasn't long before Chicky discovered her next foes, stone golems hidden deep within mysterious ruins. The first two giants of steel and ice fell without too much trouble. The rock golem put up a little bit more resistance, but soon found the same fate. Chicky even manipulated time itself to challenge the two titans of Dragon and Electric. Even Regigigas eventually succumbed to Chicky's wrath. Next were the three Galarian birds, Articuno, Zapdos and Moltres, each of them taken down. Chicky's attention was then drawn by some news of some unfinished business in mainland Galar, where Chicky beat both Zamazenta and Zacian, only to return back to the Crown Tundra to challenge Cobalion, Virizion, Terrakion and their leader Keldeo. There was now but one man left in the whole of Galar who stood a chance of taking down Chicky. The Master Dojo's very own Master Mustard, who awaited us on the Isle of Armor. So, that's where we travelled to next, where Chicky not only climbed the Sacred Tower of Water alone, but also took down our final opponent, Master Mustard, at his full strength. Chicky was unstoppable. Maybe I'd allowed her to become too powerful. A ferocious titan of feather and flame. That is the legend that Chicky the Torchic has carved out in Galar. And who knows, with the release of Diamond and Pearl remakes around the corner, Chicky might even get the chance to take on a literal god. Only time will tell. And if you take anything away from this video, let it be this. The next time you see a Torchic, don't underestimate it. For all you know, that cute, tiny orange bird could be Chicky. And if you perchance do cross paths with her, the only advice that I can give you is run.